My name's Kelly Wood, and I'm your English teacher. This is what we're here for, right? Oh, good. All right, cool. Excellent. English, good. Because sometimes I'm like, math, no. Sciences, I might can muddle through sciences, but, I don't know. There'd probably be some math in there, and I'd be like, oh. So, my name's Kelly Wood. This is my website, kelli.ninja. You probably won't need to go there a lot, but it is good to remember, kelli.ninja. And on the front page where you see the little ninja is all the contact information, okay? So I just printed out, this is the first page, or the first 2 pages of the daily syllabus, so we'll get to that second page later, don't worry about it, okay? But here's one of the reasons I keep a website, even though anymore don't use it a whole lot. We won't do a lot on Blackboard, but we do have some things on there. If I only put things on Blackboard and it goes down, that means you can't get to it. So there's a link to our schedule and all of that stuff on Blackboard. But if Blackboard's down, it links to my website, which is down far less than Blackboard is. Anybody try to log in yesterday and go, yeah, the servers, yesterday morning. Yeah, couldn't do it. So if you were in my class, though, and you needed to get the schedule, see something, it'd be right here. Okay? So yeah, I got us covered so we don't have to, you don't all have to join the professor's subreddit on Reddit like I did and go to the Blackboard one just so you can bitch about Blackboard. Because that's what we do. That's the only reason I joined Reddit, because I wanted to complain about it. How many of you have used Blackboard before? Okay, to the rest of you, I apologize that El Paso Community College continues to work with Blackboard. It's really one of the worst learning management software systems ever, and I've been teaching online and using online tools since 97. So yeah, a while. Okay, but that's life, right? You got to go roll with the flow. So okay, so if you do need to go here, so look at your schedule, and on the front page you have a QR code. Mark it out. That's the one for the Monday, Wednesday class. So I stayed up. I would think. I turned 56 this summer. Never been 56 before. I'm excited. I'm also on a one-woman mission to get people to stop being ashamed of still being alive after like 20 whatever. Dude, we're like, oh yeah, they're old. Like, not dying earlier is a personal offense to us. And one of the other things is you get like senior discounts where they give you like discounts and stuff just because you haven't died yet. Oh my God, it's great. And then you give less. So yeah, you just like worry about stuff. It's like I really don't. I mean, I care what I need to care about, and then the rest of the stuff, it doesn't matter. So yeah, love it. I highly recommend continue living. Okay, there are ups and downs. There were times I didn't feel like that, but keep moving, keep moving. So I stayed up all night because I started this new part of the job, and I thought, like usual, would have time last week to do schedule planning. No, that didn't happen. So I pulled an all-nighter. Yeah, I thought I had gone so far this year and not done one. Yeah, I did it before school even started. So, yeah, that was my mistake. I realized that yesterday afternoon when I couldn't do anything but go on with those. That was it. So it's just like, all right, everybody, did you get that? No, you didn't start off. So mark that out. Don't use that, okay? But you can go to Kelli, KELLI, .ninja. Okay. Once somebody asked me why ninja, and I looked at them like, this does not compute. Why not? Oh my God! What, you want some .com, .edu, boring, right? No. Who else needs to sign it? Oh, okay. So anyway, that's where it is. And on the right here, there's a little menu. I really don't like the layout of this. I've kind of changed it, and we'll see. Here is schedules. So it says schedules, and then that's my old layout. I kind of really like that, but I don't know where we're going. And then you can see here, there's the syllabus. We have this workbook. I'll talk about it in a minute, and our daily schedule. So it's Tuesday, Thursday. That must be us. And this does have the correct QR code. Okay. So, but the thing is that is incorrect, but this stuff and the rest of this stuff is correct. Okay. So there's that. That's good. All right. Y'all are too quiet. Tell me something. Tell me a bad joke. Anybody? You know they don't let little pirates go to movies anymore. Well, some of the movies. You know why? Because they're rated R. Okay, you're making noise. All right, cool. So when you don't make noise, teachers are always like, oh my God, like they don't understand or they don't like me, no matter what. You can get older. It's still about, oh my God, right? And stop worrying about what people think because they don't think half the things that you think they think about you. So. Anyway, okay, well, let's just move on here and do a few things. So I told you my name is Kelly. It's Kelly Wood. You can call me Professor Wood. Just call me Kelly. When you put my name on a piece of paper, you're turning into me, put Professor Wood. Okay, we're learning to write, at a higher level than most of us speak, that kind of thing. Definitely than I do. I'm a very laid back, casual person, but I can teach you very well how to play this game up here, okay, the fancier game. Because sometimes when I put on those fancy shoes that aren't that comfortable, I have mine in the shoebox I bought them in. I can wear them for 2 to 3 hours. They're very pretty. They're very nice shoes. My mom was like a dress to the nines person. Like, oh my God, you should have seen when she was going to church. The hat, everything. Everything. I tried to do it. I just felt like a little girl in her mom's clothes. I was like, yeah, no, I can't do it. No. I know how to do it when I need to. You got my email, my phone numbers, Teams, Discord, all of that. I'll show you. I've got some QR codes that are correct. Okay, I'll put in there the website. So you've got all that on the front of that handout there. And then my office hours. So these are my office hours. These are when I'm in my office. It's in the 1100s. You know where counseling is, and then there's parking. There's that hallway, not going outside, but the one that goes down that way, the 1100s. You go down that hallway just a little bit, and you'll be walking down it. Wait, you go down that. Okay, you're going to go this way, down that hallway. Wait, this way. And then there's a little hallway to your left, and you're going to go to your left. And then there's another hallway to your right, and you're going to go to the right. If you keep going straight, you'll end up in this lovely patio where there's like outdoor couches and chairs and everything. You have your lunch, take a break, especially a couple weeks from now when it cools off. But there's a little shade and everything. So. And there are two, or maybe they had a baby. I think there's 3 turtles that live out there. Don't mess with the turtles, but watch for them. Flowers, all that kind of stuff. It's lovely, lovely. So Monday and Wednesday from 2 to 3, Tuesday, Thursday from 11 to 4, and Fridays I'll be in from 11 to 1. You want to come by and see me? I got snacks. I got stickers. I got so much swag. All right. I got notebooks. You need a binder. There we go. There's a sticker. I know. I noticed last semester, we'd be working on stuff. People would have computers or tablets up, and, I've got stickers on the back. In one class, I'm like, oh, you got that one from me? Oh, yeah, that one. Oh, look, there's 3 on there. Wow, cool. So, yeah, I got that. What else do I have? I have stuff like I crochet stuff just because it makes me sit still for a little bit. Okay. Hey, look, I made a phone holder. Oh, yeah, I know. I need to make a couple more of these, don't I? Yeah. Yeah. I have a big, one of my friends calls them the blender. It's a big water bottle, but it's metal, just straight. And then I have one of these that's like even crossbody and everything. So, yeah, I got it, and then I didn't use it, and I was like, oh. Yeah. So I was like, what am I going to do with this? And I brought it in here because I'm like, I can take this to Goodwill, but I can bring it for y'all if somebody wants one. Okay. Yeah. What else? I went to a meeting the other day, and they had so much swag. I was like, oh, I got one of those little knapsack bags, and then I filled it up. I mean, pins, chapstick. I got a little USB mini or not USB, but Bluetooth speaker. I'm sure it's not great, right? But hey, I'm just telling you, this stuff goes, it goes, right? What else? I have all sorts of notebooks. I've got some like 3-ring binders. You need one of those? Come see me. Okay, cool. Yeah. And I have some new stickers too. Yeah. They're very encouraging. And then I don't think I've bought new sarcasm yet because you're not going to wait till everybody gets to know. So, but there's a little bit left. You need the sarcasm. All right.
We have to make sure that we don't take you to
exactly. Yeah.
Love it.
Like I have someone that said, "Oh, I only meant to roll my eyes in my head." Really need to roll my eyes. All right, so key things right here on Blackboard or kelli.ninja. You can download a digital copy of the schedule. You're not going to use this QR code because sleep is important, right? You want to do things well. Okay, you should look at your schedule at least 3 times a week. We have class twice a week, right? You're going to want to make sure and look at it, make sure you did stuff. But at the first of the week, at the end of the week before, whenever works for you, take a look at it. Say, what do I have coming up? Look at schedules for all your classes. Take a moment over the weekend, the end of the week, before the week gets started to say, what am I doing this week? And that's one of the key things. The best thing you can do for yourself in college is time in life is time management. Don't be Kelly and stay up all night the first day of school. Okay, that was not good time management. But now I know since I have this new job next semester, I'm not going to let that happen. I don't think. Sometimes we're good at it, sometimes we're not, right? Like that self-discipline. So I suggest you look at it, as you prepare for the week ahead. And really, during this first 2 weeks, you're getting to know your different teachers. Everybody has different rhythms. It's like working for different bosses. One boss does some things this way, and you go to another place, and they don't do it that way, they do it this way. Some of them are really strict. Some of them are like, look, we need to do this thing. You do you just as long as you get it done. There are some things I recommend, but if you can do it more efficiently, cool, right? Some of them are like, no, you will do it my way. That's what you do because you decide, do I want to jump through this hoop and get a paycheck, or do I want to go find another job? Many of you are here because you've had some of those jobs and you're like, I'm done with that. I want something better. So that's what I did. After I failed out of college and dropped out and got a 1.34, out of 4, it was the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. There was partying to be done. I was from a really small town. I went to the big city of Lubbock, Texas. Yeah. So, biggest thing I learned was take a moment at the first of every week and just say, what am I doing? If you've got kids, when I went through college, I'm a single parent, you got kids, you got a job, you got whatever, you got to do your laundry, you got to do something at some point. Think about where do those things fit in? Where is my school starting to fit in? All of that. So, best advice I can give you. And then, of course, the day before or something like that to make sure you've done stuff. Now, under here, so that's the check your schedule. The next thing it says is refresh it because there are some things later on that I don't have finished that are linked on the schedule that, I'll finish over the next 2 or 3 weeks and upload with those links and all of that. We don't need them till after midterms. So we're good. Okay, we got time. We got time. So you want to refresh it once in a while just to make sure it's there. And then, like I said before we started the video that actually recorded, I do record this and put it, and like I said, like even when I move over here, if you're listening later, you probably can't hear me very well because it just, especially the laptop microphone, so it only goes so far. So really, it's not gonna. Don't worry, y'all can speak up, and you won't be able to hear you. You'll hear blah 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 blah. Okay, so, but you're like, what did she say? I forgot. I don't know. Or I'm confused. I really wish I could go back and watch that 5 minutes of class again. You can, and it's on YouTube. And look, nobody goes and watches all my videos. So if you said something you're worried other people will hear you, no, like if they get 4 or 5 hits from people who need to go back and review. Like, really, are you on YouTube watching English teacher videos of their classes? No, you watch the first 5 minutes and you're like, this does not apply to me. I don't care. Okay, I don't even do it unless it's about something that really does apply to me. Do remember that's not a substitute. This is face-to-face class. Okay, it's not online. It's really there for you to review. If something keeps you from coming to class, life happens. Then you go and watch the video and you'll take notes and then you turn those in next time. And I'm like, well done. Good job. Let me give you some points for taking notes. Life is good. Okay? So that's what we do. But it's also not a guarantee. I mean, yesterday I did the video, but there's no audio there. So, bummer, right? Technology goes that way. That's why you're in a face-to-face class, right? Because you realize those online classes, especially for skills class, are actually harder. Anybody taking English or math online? No? Oh, no. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's harder. Oh, I taught it since 97 and post-COVID. I was like, I'll teach online if you need me to, but I want to teach face-to-face. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with that. Just over. Okay, so here's how the schedule is set up. I do a basic setup that it works for me. I hope it works for you. A number of people have said, and you hit all the right triggers for me managing my ADHD, right? You're easily distracted. Here's the due date, right? What's today? Anything listed in this column should be done before you come to class. Oh, look, nothing, right? You're good. 100s for you all. Woo! All right. Here's what we'll do in class. Look, intro to the course technology. Oh, we're doing that. Woo! So this is really for me. This keeps me on the straight and narrow so that I don't get too lost in the world of, constant distractions and everything. But also, you want to go back later, anything, if there's a link to it or if it's a short video, whatever it is, if it's a slideshow, if there's a link here, you can go back and review that. So you can review on YouTube by, watching, listening. And, if there's not as much, the audio's not as good if you've already been here, you're just doing that review. You'll see it and kind of vaguely hear it and you'll be like, oh yeah, I got it, right? Or you can just go back to this is a slideshow. Okay, we're going to look at page 22. You click there, we're going to go to page 22, and we'll be like, oh, I see, right? So that's there for me because that's how I organize. I basically do lesson plans, but anything that's there, I put there for you. Because every day, I bring up the schedule. If I'm bringing it up every day, my saying is live and die by the schedule. Live and die by the schedule, right? This will pass or fail by the schedule is what I should say. Okay, this is your roadmap. This is where you start. Every time you're like, I need to work on Englishy stuff. If it's not already something we've gone over and you know what that is, you're like, oh, what is it? Schedule. It's your friend. Download it on your phone. Keep it on your computer, your tablet. You want to go print one out, go to the computer lab, print it out. You can print it out for free there. So yeah, use it. But you won't be able to click on links if you print it out. That's why I only printed out 2 pages. So that way also you have my contact information. Okay. All right. So we can look and we can see next time. What you're going to do is we're going to take notes in this class. So, you'll be taking, you don't have to do it today, but if you can, you want to, if you're like, oh, I need to remember that, so you've got paper out, you've already written a few things on there, brownie points. Oh, brownie points. And everybody else who hasn't done any of that, brownie points. You're in my class, you were wise enough to sign up. Yay. Okay, it's all good. All right, so, we're gonna take notes, but we're going to read about how to take notes, and you're gonna watch one of these videos and take some notes on it. Okay, so there is a note-taking assignment. One of the forms of writing we're learning to do is note-taking. And it is the one that is persistent. You will probably, anybody in here going to be an English major, getting a degree in English? Oh, thank God I got a smart class. Every time I get one, I'm like, let me tell you why you shouldn't do this. And then we talk through that, and I give them all the grim, dirty, everything. Like, you need to go ask somebody who does that job you want to do, and tell me about your absolute worst day. What are the things that happen that you're like, this sucks? When do you hate your job? And then you say, okay, Tell me about some of your best days or the things you love. And you're not done yet. Because the other thing you say is, tell me about your normal day. What are most days like? And every day's not the greatest day in your life, right? I mean, here you are in English class today. And if you take a liking to me, you might look back on it and be like, I remember that English teacher walked in with her blue hair, told us she was 56, was like, hey, man, don't hate on yourself for not dying. Woo, be proud. It was loud. She played music. Yeah, you may. You may not. You may be just like, I remember she's a cool English teacher. That's it. Or you may never think of me again years hence. That's okay. I have a lot of students. I've known a lot of people. I've done a whole lot of Would You Like Fries with that in order to get here. The number of people I've encountered. Any of y'all do service, restaurant, retail, work at Walmart, any of that kind of stuff? Anybody?
I work at a hospital.
The number of people you have seen, right?
Yeah.
The number of people you have just seen and just even talked to briefly. We don't remember everybody. We remember those people who make our lives suck and make our lives better, right? And then those people we see on a daily basis. Right? So we will see each other consistently. It's likely you'll remember me. But I'm your one teacher for English. There are a whole lot of y'all, right? I have had thousands. I literally have a count of how many students I've had, and it's thousands. And you start getting where you've done this for 20, 25 years, you're like, oh yeah, thousands. I don't remember them all. No, just that. So. Note taking, essay writing, probably not going to remember. No, I mean, you're going to take what you need. I know the kind of math I need to know. I know how to do percentages because grades, right? I do percentages. I know how to do measuring, thrice, cut twice. I've done some carpentry work. I have this table you can dance on. Don't look at the bottom. It is ugly as sin. It was like my first carpentry project. Yeah, measure. That's where I got they say carpenters and when you're sewing, I sew. So yeah, you got to know, how to measure and do the math on that, figure area and all that. Yeah, they say measure twice, cut once. No, I measure thrice, cut twice. What you take from writing essays is really about, this is a thinking class. We could say English composition, which is writing, and we could also say English thinking. So when I say writing, I might as well be thinking. When I say thinking, because writing helps you figure it out. If you have to put it down in words, it's more than just that I have an idea of this, right? You have to make yourself explain it to yourself. That's what it's about. Here, notes. You also are making yourself explain it to yourself. Your notes are not for Kelly. They don't help me. I've done this before. I'm actually saying not half the stuff, but a quarter of the stuff you're writing down. I got it. They're for you. So when you walk away, you're like, oh, yeah, I remember I need to do this. Or wait, I need to do this, but what were the details? Boom. You are probably not going to have a whole lot of bosses that say, here's your assignment today, and then they've written it down and you get to go do it. No, there's going to be a meeting, and yeah, there's an assignment. They'll say, here's what our job is, but then you end up, having to talk about it. It's like, oh, I'm going to do this, so-and-so's going to do this. The only thing, not the only thing, but one of the things movies consistently get right is when they show people going to meetings, and yeah, people will have their laptops or tablets, but even today, movies show people with a piece of paper and writing shit down. Because that's the place we persistently write stuff down. Every meeting I went to last week, people had laptops out, or it was a 50-50 split. And I wasn't just with English teachers. People had a piece of paper. I have a lot of pieces of paper to give you, notebooks and things like that, because every time I go to a meeting, not every time, but about half the meetings I go to, they've already got paper and a pencil out for us, or paper and a pen. So I take it home. I take it to my office, and I'm like, cool, come see me. So note-taking becomes very important. We're going to take notes on our homework, our readings, and so that's why that'll start tomorrow. And one of the first things you read after it starts with how to use this notebook is you read, you read your, how to do what we're doing for notes. Okay, so you're reading the actual assignment. Okay. So notes and then in class we'll do that. Okay. Yeah, we're going to get down here and we're going to get to that. Okay, I'm making sure. See, I write this stuff down so I know what I need to do. So let's take a look at this workbook because, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and open up the syllabus, and that is linked right here. It's also on Blackboard, and we'll get to looking at Blackboard in a little bit, but it's right here. So the syllabus looks just about the same, has that quote that I love, you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. That comforts me because one of these days I want to learn to play the guitar, or actually I want to learn to play the charango. My brother-in-law's from Bolivia, and it's like a guitar, but it's little, okay? Not quite that ukulele. You know, your ukulele has that different sound. It's like guitar. It's so cool. Or the drums. And this is great because did I sing for y'all? It was bad. I don't sing well. I don't know anything about music. I don't know how to read it. I don't know nothing. I love it. I know how to sing with my heart, but my voice. So I think about like learning a musical instrument. I'm like, that would be so cool. And it's nice to think I still can, right? Because I don't have to be great to get started. Why would I need to go take a class or learn if I'm already great at it? Huh. Everything in our life that applies to, doesn't it? Very blessed group. We all walked in here and we learned to walk. We saw people and went, huh, I think I can do that. No, what we saw was like the bag of chips or the Coke or whatever, the cookie or whatever on the edge of the table. And we were like, oh, I want that. Right? We probably fell down a lot of times. Having had a kid, they do that. Yeah. So, didn't have to be great to get started, but we just get started and then we can work through that greatness. That is wonderful. So there we go. Syllabus has same contact information here, so same thing. Now your syllabus is your contract with the teacher, between the teacher and you and the teacher. So you have, if you had classes yesterday, you've had teachers go through. Do you have teachers who went through their whole syllabus, or did some of them do here's the important parts? You go read the rest of it yourself, or some of them said just go make sure you know it. Yeah. Different. Those are all of the above, maybe, right? The thing is, it is important, okay? Because what it does is it says, these are the things I'll put up with, these are the things I expect, these are the places where I'll be lenient and be flexible, and these are the places I won't. When I started here, I got handed a 3-ring binder because that was in 2003 when I started full time. It was my employee handbook. And so my contract said, here's what we're paying you for, this, that. That's what this at the very end, this official syllabus at the end, this is like the total, the official basic contract. Here's what you're going to get paid. Here's what you've got to do, and no details at all, right? And this description for all of your classes, every English 1301 across the district in El Paso Community College, this is what you're overall doing, right? This is what goes on in it. These are the objectives. These are the things you're going to learn. And some of these are in bold. And so these don't just apply to English class, but you'll see this one in your history syllabus. You'll see this one in your math syllabus, because critical thinking, being able to look at parts and figure them out, think deeper, look beyond the surface, beyond your first reaction, those things are important. Communication, written, visual, oral, however you're doing it, right? Those things are important. Those are going to show up in a lot of your syllabi. Here we've got teamwork skills. That's one that's going to show up. I remember being a student and teachers would say, you're going to have to learn to work in groups when you grow up. And I didn't really believe them. I'm like, no, I'm going to be a teacher. I get to do whatever I want. Okay, well, first of all, I have things like this that tell me what I have to do. Nice thing about El Paso Community College is they say, we've hired you, you're educated, you're smart. Do those things, but do them the way that you do it best, right? And that's what's cool. And that's why you'll go into one English class or a different one or different math classes, and they feel different because we are all individual, right? Aren't we? Yes, we are. Okay. And yeah, I do a whole lot. I spent the whole last week doing, now that I have this new part of my job, more meetings than I wanted to, and so yeah. Personal responsibility, right? Making sure you get things done, making sure you show up on time, making sure you take those notes so you're not asking that question that, the rest of the class is rolling their eyes at. I won't roll my eyes at you, okay? And most of the rest of the class won't, because most of the rest of the class is like, you've had that before. Somebody asked a question and you're glad they asked it because you wanted to know the answer, but you were a little too afraid to ask it. Or you felt like you might be a dummy and you're like, oh, I'm not the only person. Yay. Cool. Excellent. So we got some different outcomes. These are from the Texas Board of Education, right? Or the Higher Learning Education Coordinating Board is what it is. And then evaluation, how you're going to be evaluated. So this determines like everybody in the district. So every 1301, students are going to write a minimum of 4 essays or other types of writing projects. Your notes, I consider one of those big projects because you're writing notes on all your homework. You're writing notes. You are learning how to write for you, how to communicate with you so that you figure out how a teacher talks. What do you need to write down for the test? What do you need to write down to learn a skill? How to do note writing, how to do essay writing, how to do writing a letter, how to do writing an email. Those are all different things. I write a list down for me to go to the grocery store. Do you need to be able to read my writing? Not unless you say, hey, I'll buy you your groceries, right? If I say, hey, I'll buy you your groceries, do I need to be able to read your writing? Oh, yeah, right? So where we write, how good our writing is on a good enough scale. If I'm just talking about straight across my handwriting, it just needs to be good enough I can read it. I've written some things where it was not good enough because I'm like, what did I write? I've written some notes where I could read them, but they didn't really help me remember those things. I'm like, but what about that other part, right? Like figuring out what to write down. That's the hard part. And that's what we're learning with note taking. And so that has to be good enough. I'm going to write to the president of the college and say, hey, not only should you pay me more money, but you should give all my students their money back and let them come to school for free because they're the best students in the college. I want to write it a little more good enough, right? I will write to my dean and say, I'm not going to be here for a whole week, and here's why. That needs to be good enough. I'm going to write to my friend Terry, who worked across the hallway for 20 years until she applied for the dean job, and say, hey, you want to have tea this afternoon? Good enough. All the writing you've done today, every text you sent or message you posted, has been somewhere on that good enough, right? Some of it was just your friends. No, I can't do that. I got to go to English class. Oh! And some of you wrote, yeah, well, I don't have to show up till 10. I'm not going to class at 8. So this is what we'll do. How we do it, right? Even that choice in there, I have choices. And so one of the choices I've made is to say, look, this note writing thing is an important craft you're learning. Cool. So when you look at the overall syllabus, that tells you what everybody in the district is doing. And when you look at, here, let's go back to this cover page, my policies, the first part, or they may be posted separately. I put mine all together in one, so you have it all there. When you look here, then this is all of just for Kelly's class. What textbook are we using? What supplements? What materials? What about this, man? My, recording videos, right? Okay, what about other things? Computer labs. What about my policies, right? Am I like, don't bring a newspaper into my classroom? I had a teacher who did that once because one semester, the El Paso Times was like out here freely available. And this guy would come into class and he'd sit down at the back and he would proceed to open the newspaper and sit there and read the whole thing. And she was like, it drove me crazy. So the boss is always telling us, if you have I can't do this, you better put it in there because I got your back. But if you don't put it in there, if I don't say it, how do you know to do it or not to do it, right? And I mean, there are a whole lot of things that are not said in here. One of my friends once had some student at the first of the semester stand up and blow up a balloon in her class. Well, I have disruptive behavior in there, like in the middle for no reason. So, what you're really wondering about here is what do I have to get in terms of a textbook? Because money. Most expensive textbook you've heard of. How much? Anybody? Got some big numbers.
100.
100.
I had a coworker. I think she told me that she needed like 1100 for a textbook for nursing.
For one textbook?
Or I believe so, or I don't remember what.
Okay, that's insane. I've never
Yeah.
heard of that. But maybe
My psychology textbook is $300.
300. Oh my! Like, oh, this was years ago. So right now, this book I'm talking about would probably be at least 800, right? Because used to people would be like 100, 200, right? That 300, like my mind was like, oh, that's horrible. But then I'm like, yeah, that's risen with the cost of inflation. I try to be a cheap date, okay? But do well. Like I want, like this, I have no doubt came from like Goodwill or a secondhand store or whatever. Yeah. Oh, I know it did. I didn't buy this new. Oh my god. You know this sounds expensive new. I want to spend my money on that. I want to spend it on freaking craps and junk like that. Okay? I had a student once say $500, and I was just like, oh. And he was criminal justice. It was for a Department of Homeland Security or some security class, and the book was done by the Department of Homeland Security, and it was out of date. And the teacher never referred to it, and he was like, but you need to buy it. Okay, this says make sure you purchase this by the date it appears on our daily schedule. This does not appear on our daily schedule. I heard from good authorities that if I don't have a textbook on here, for some reason, I don't know, because you're going to be using a lot more stuff online, usually probably not on the schools online, they charge you an extra $10. Like I'm trying to even save you $10, okay? So I picked the cheapest book, but then also, right, I'm saying, look, it's not on the schedule. Instead, what we're doing is we're going to be working from this, I call it the workbook, okay? And it's online, and then you could see here that for our schedule, right here, when we go look, okay, it says, what do you need to do? You need to read, watch. So my son always tells me, Mom, he reminds me, remember the words tell you what the words mean. So the words explain the words. So read the words. It says read or watch, right? We're going to read about assignments. That doesn't mean you're going to do them. Now here, I did say note-taking begins today. So for your homework you do to prepare to come in next time, you do need to start taking notes. I'll let you know, okay? But when we read about the first essay assignment, it doesn't mean you're going to write it that night. No, we're going to work on it. We got 16 weeks. We're going to do notes. That's one of our big 4 projects. That means we have 3 others. So actually we have 3, and each one has kind of 2 parts. Okay. So yeah, slowly. We got time. I will tell you, however. Oh, put that thing down. I will tell you, however, if there's some exception to that. Okay, so make sure you read all the words in here. Okay, and workbook. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to read or watch. So if you're just reading or watching, just read, watch. Right down here, we've got some stuff that's due. Oh, that means make sure you do it, right? Okay, so read, watch. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this workbook right here, and then we're going to go read pages and look. Same thing. You can see it, man. I'm good at that branding. I got that. Okay. And you can do either on there'll be like this has got a menu. Sometimes it's like the little bookmark looking thing. If you want to use this table of contents, but also you can just go to the table of contents and you're going to read 3 through, what are we doing? Oh, we're going to go through, Master Your Learning, Ultimate Guide to Effective Note-Taking Strategies. And when you look at that, you need to hear in your mind, Ultimate Guide. Make it fun, okay? And so you're just going to click on, boom, how to use this workbook. And then there you go. You're going to read. There's lots of white space, right? That's just a little note from me. So for that one, taking notes, you don't need to write down. I mean, if there's anything you're like, hey, I think I need to remember this, write it down. It helps you, okay? But you can just say, hey, I read that. Cool. Thumbs up. You can draw a thumbs up. That's really cool. I'll be impressed, okay? You put smiley face, whatever, okay? So it's here online. Cost to you? Free 99. We love free 99, right? Okay. If you're like, you know what? I just don't want to read everything in my life online. I would like to be able to scribble on it. put stamps on it, go get stickers from Kelly to put on it. I would like to have it nice and spot. You can do cheap and just get it printed out. And if you go to the copy center, because this is like collectively 125 pages. We got 16 weeks. We're not reading it all tomorrow, right? Nice. Okay.
If you
So,
print it out,
well, what I would do is I'd go to the copy center. So right next to the library, across from the snack bar, there's mailboxes and there's the door right there. That's the copy center, okay? And what you do is you go in and say, I'm in Kelly's class and I need that 1301 workbook. And they may have already have it printed out and you'll see it like that, okay? They'll print it out for you if you get it with the fancy, and you can even, there's different colors you can get on the back. I got green because green is my favorite color. Okay, there's blue and there's red and there's black and there's gray. I think that's the. I don't think there's any yellow or gold. Orange. It's some bright colors, and it's got this nice clear thing in the middle. You can do that. If you do that, it will cost you. I wrote it down. $13.22. Yeah. So you can go to your friend and say, guess how much one of my textbooks cost? You can either say $3.99 or I wanted the fancy version, so I paid $13.22. If you just get the thing printed out, no color, nothing like that, and then they'll hole punch it for you, and you can put it in the 3-ring binder. Yeah, it'll cost about $10. Okay, 9 or $10. Cool, because I think that the spiral, I think this costs like $3. So that's why I'm saying I think it's around 10. But so if you're the kind of person that you're like, I'm fine reading online. It's a PDF, so they don't always read the best on your phone, but if you're on a tablet or computer, you can make it small or large, right? And if you're fine reading online and you're like, man, I won't spend that money, don't spend that money. But if you're like, I would really like to, and I mean, we are reading the stuff in here, right? I would really like this printed out. That's cool, do it. I suggest, you can print it out at home and all that, but I suggest you go to the copy center because really by the time you buy the paper and use the ink at home, $10 to $13 is a good deal, right? So, yeah, exactly. So do what works for you. You do a couple of weeks and you're like, you know what? I'd be better off if I could just sit down and just read this and not look at a screen, not be tempted to go look up this and that and whatever. Leave my phone in the kitchen and sit down in the living room and be able to just sit down in my comfy chair and read and make some notes, highlight some things in here, whatever. Okay, so do what, again, notes aren't for Kelly, they're for you. This is for you because, it's nice of Kelly to make it free, but, if it helps you be a better student, $14 or under is a good deal. So, yeah, 1,000. Even if that's the whole semester, right? That's just a lot. Even if that's like, I kind of, like, my mind does not want to believe that's one book. But my mind also knows that it could be, right?
Or something like that.
It doesn't matter. Even if it's all of them, a whole $1,000. Y'all got an extra $1,000 lying around? Yeah, okay, just bring it to me, next time. Yeah. You bring one for everybody.
it's my
Okay,
tuition money.
It'll just happen. Yeah. So you read that, you'll see the next thing is the class notes assignment. Now you do want to label these, okay? Because if I can't tell that you've done these parts, how can I give you, the whole grade, right? So make sure and label them. How to use this workbook. You can do the first 3 or 4 words, but make sure it's clear. And I go over that in the class notes thing. And you're going to read it, so I'm not going to go. But class notes assignment, right? Write that. Boom, as you go along. And if you're writing and you finish, how to use this notebook, and you just write a couple of sentences, you draw that thumbs up or thumbs down or whatever, and put, okay, I got it. And then you put class notes assignment. Just skip a little space. You don't have to do a whole new another piece of paper. I'm a cheap date, okay? But make sure I can see it as a teacher. If I have to hunt for that stuff, you're not getting a grade for it. You'd have to go back and highlight or whatever. You put stars by the names or whatever. Class notes assignment, you read through it. We'll talk about it next time. So you'll read the assignment generally the first time just so you have the big picture. And then we'll talk about it. We'll do things step by step, okay? So this has some different ideas. There's a blank page there. I don't know what happened. That's for notes, okay? and talks about your homework notes, you're taking notes in class. It says make sure things are clearly labeled. I know you can't really read that, but you can tell that's in all caps, right? Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, wait, hold on. It's going to be, oh, wait, okay. Oh, and then this should start at the top of the next page. I don't know what happened. Document design, right? One of the things is think about that. Master your learning, the ultimate guide. Well, you could just put master your learning. You don't have to write. If you want to write the ultimate guide to effective note-taking strategies and put emphasis around it, so when I read it, I hear you thinking that. You can. That's cool, right? Okay, cool. And then we're going to read that. So you can see it's not like just packed, dense text. There are some pages that are, but, you know, you came here to learn stuff, right? One way we learn stuff is read. So, oh, and we're not even there. That'll be next time, building a writer. Cool beans? Is that easy to do?
We'll say that too.
Cool beans. So you click on the workshop, you read that. Now, it says watch and take notes on the video you were assigned during last class. Okay. Teachers who are right-handed tend to go over there. That's why they try to work to be over here. You're like, which video do I watch? Right? Well, what do we have? 5 of them, right? Let's do counting. We're going to count to 5, and then we're going to start over.
3, 4.
What? You got to know. You might want to write this down if you don't remember well, because this is the video you're going to watch. So what are we? 1, 2, 3, 4. Four.
5.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What number are you? 4. What number are you? What number are you? What number are you? What number are you? All right, cool. All right. So now here's your homework for next time. Well, not your homework. Well, it is your homework. You're going to read these pages, and then you're going to watch just the video you got. Okay, if you want to watch other ones, go watch the other ones. Let me tell you a little bit about these videos. They are about note-taking, about like what writing, and if we're doing note-taking handwritten, okay, what like actual handwriting does to our brains, the kind of verses, handwriting versus taking notes on a computer. Your perfect notes are making you fail. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? Why would you want your notes not to be perfect? Oh my gosh, this is great, okay? I like this Jim Quick. He does some things I like, some things I don't. Sometimes you're going to take notes one way for a certain situation, or your brain is in a certain space, and sometimes another way, okay? Active reading strategies, well, we're going to read a lot, so we got to figure out what to write down. And that's that active part, is you're figuring out what parts can I ignore? What parts do I need to pay attention to? Same thing with a lecture, with a boss telling you to do something, a group project, whatever it is, meeting you're going to. You got to figure out when can you zone out and when can you come back, right? In class, you're taking notes. Sometimes your brain is here and you're on track and you're on track, and then all of a sudden you're like, was that a butterfly? Is there a squirrel? Cows? One of the stickers in the new set of stickers I got says, maybe it says currently, but I don't know. It says I'm distracted by cows. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. And then I was going somewhere with my friend the other day. I was driving, and we went down through like the valley by Anthony in there, and up a little further and through the like pecan orchards and everything. And she was like, look, cows. This sticker is not wrong. We're like, what cow? Okay. What you do though is you do what Kelly just did. She got distracted by not cows and butterflies and that pretty yellow lantana. And then it's meditation, right? Meditation isn't always thinking nothing or always being in the moment. It's realizing when your brain goes over here and then saying, okay, yeah, that's cool, but let me come back. And that's the thing, when you say, let me come back. So when you get distracted, when you're reading, when you're watching a video, when you're in class, you're in a meeting, you're like, okay, and then you're like, okay, let me come back. Okay? And it's learning that kind of mental discipline. This one, taking notes effectively, everybody who's got 5, this is like some weird white guy dude teacher Yeah, whatever. But and it's funny because I thought this one like I was reviewing and I'm like making sure the links work and this and that, and I was like, oh yeah, he is weird, but he had good stuff to say. So yeah, so listen to him, and you might kind of be off, and then you might go, okay, I'm back. Right? You might need to rewind. Okay. So there we go. That's your homework in terms of kind of what you need to read or watch because it's under the read watch section. Okay. The next thing down here says what's due. So some days some days we don't have a read watch section. There's just stuff that's due. Sometimes I think there may be one day on there where there's neither one. It just means show up. Okay. Unless it says don't show up. Okay. This one's due. That means there's stuff we got to do. So now we got to go to Blackboard. How many of y'all have used Blackboard? I asked you. Oh, how many haven't? I got the have. Okay. It's okay. Be loud and proud. I've never done it. Sorry to ruin your life. Now you're going to go to Blackboard. I'm going to open this up. You're going to have to do your login just like you do with my EPCC. In fact, you can even go to my EPCC, and that's weird. I had to sign in there, but not Blackboard. And right here's the link to Blackboard. Okay, that may be the easiest kind of way to navigate everything. It's just log in there, and then there's Blackboard. So you go here, and yours will probably, I don't know what your activity stream looks like there. I always click on courses, and if you do that, yours will look like this. I have two 1301s and two 311s. Can you tell which one's which? No, you can tell because you only have one. You may just have one of those. You may have both of those, right? And so you could click there. I like to look at the pretty pictures. Okay. So you'll see I haven't set up the pretty pictures for these, but here we are Tuesday, Thursday. You won't have Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if you do, you need to pick one. Okay. It doesn't let you sign up for both of them, I don't think. And then you will have Blackboard. So Blackboard is, it's just any other internet um, interface. Some of them we like, some of them we don't. And it's really a good lesson in thinking about what you like about apps you use or what you don't like about them, whether it's an app you use, a tool, whether you're looking at it on your tablet, your computer, whatever. What is it you like about it? What is it you don't? Right? What we don't is tells us something about what we want to think about for our readers. Because if we're doing writing, it's going to be read by somebody, even if it's just us, right? So, what is it that distracts you? What is it that confuses you? That's what good programmers, good computer, when you're doing back end work on computing, will think about not just what am I doing, like what's my vision, but they're also going to think about how's the person on the other side of the screen use it. It's my issue with Blackboard, some of that. But anyway, you look at it and it's pretty bland white. And here you can see, like I said, if you just log into Blackboard, all of this is there too. So the moral of the story at this point is I've got links for you kind of everywhere. On Blackboard, off of Blackboard, so that one goes down, you have access, okay? So you can get your daily schedule there. Here's the official syllabus and help files. This is a drop down, so when you see the little drop down over there, you click on these and you're going to have more. And so here's the syllabus, class rules and policies. There's the college said, look, we'd really like it if you put it up there. I put it up there. I'm like, okay, I can do that. That's an easy ask in my job. Cool. Woo, I'm a good employee. Yay. Right. EPCC resources, learning with Blackboard, a student handbook, and tips for online class success. So those are there if you want to. But what we know from looking at the schedule is that, there we go, syllabus, is that there's a syllabus quiz you need to take, right? And there's an optional contact form you need to do. So go back to Blackboard and we go to week 1. So that's in the week 1 file because this is week 1. Now, technically, I leave this open for 2 weeks. Somebody shows up, couldn't be here today. Things go crazy. You have trouble logging into Blackboard. It's giving you grief. I spent the first 2 weeks are really about let's figure out how this class works with Kelly. Right? You're going to have to do it with other teachers. I hope they're flexible. Some of them are not. I know some of them. I'm thinking about 3 of them right now who like they're hard asses. You have to learn to work for those people too. Decide how much you want to be angry about that and how much you want that to be part of your life. I'm like, whatever. Those people who drive so fast, they have to cut in front of you and everything to get to their first heart attack. I'm like, must suck to be you, dude. Or I hope there's not some big emergency, right? So, it's not always bad. I mean, anyway, syllabus quiz, here it is. Here's the contact form. I have all your information to contact you, and I am under federal law to make sure I keep that private, so I don't randomly distribute this, right? But it does help me to have it in one place. So if you will do this contact form, it's just, what's your phone number, if your name is different from registration, or what is it at registration, like if there's any difference there, let me know, because, if you got married or got unmarried or whatever, right? And that way, and you're putting one name on your stuff, and I've had that before where I'm looking at stuff I'm putting in the grade book, and I'm like, who is this? I look at the grade book, and I'm like, well, they've got the same first name. I just want to get your grades to you, okay? And it just has that, like an alternate email in case the college email goes down, whatever, which brings me to you should check and use your college email. Don't go mixing your personal email and your business email, right? Keep your personal, I believe you should have 3 emails. Personal email and junk email that you use to sign up for things that you're going to get a lot of junk mail from, right? And then that way you can just use that one for that. And then you're going to have an email provided by your work generally. And email, no, everybody bitches about email. We all hate it. It's horrible, okay? But it is how business does business. And you are here to learn professionalism. You need to learn that, okay? So what I say is if there's too many emails in your email box and your inbox and you hate that, declare email bankruptcy. Look at the ones from the last 2 weeks in case because you get dropped from a class, you're not going to get a letter. You may get a phone call or an automated message, but you're going to get an email. That way, if something happened and some piece of paper or some form didn't get filled out, you get over there and you say, hey, I want to be dropped from my English class at blue-haired teacher school. Why didn't they drop me from this other class? This person, this blue-haired teacher's making me crazy. Okay. But then the rest of it, just do a select all and just delete it. Or if you're too paranoid to delete it all, just move it into a folder called old stuff. Clear it out. Check, at least once a week, because a lot of your teachers will communicate with you through email. It is the official communication platform of the college. Now, you want instant messaging, you call, you come talk to people. This is instant messaging, right? Don't expect other people to respond in the way you do. I have some people who I will email and or text, and they will text me right back. I'm one of those people that may leave my phone in my bedroom half the day on the weekend. And I'll be like, my sister said, sorry, I didn't call you back. So, that's where this is okay, you've got 15 to 20 minutes to wrap it up and shut up, Kelly. That's what this alarm is. So. It says wrap it up. It doesn't say shut up, but in my mind, that's what I say to me. I say, okay. All right, so contact form. Boom. General education outcomes. Okay, we're going to watch that in just a minute because you can get some extra credit. So contact form is not required, but if you do it, I'll give you a free 100. If you don't do it, I won't put a 0 there or anything. I'm asking you to do it. It's information I already have, but it makes it a lot easier for me if I need to contact and it's all in one place. Okay, so you want a free 100? There we go. The quiz, oh my goodness gracious, this is virtually a free 100. You do have to open the schedule. The syllabus. So just make sure that, from that first page of Blackboard, you've opened the syllabus and you have this open here. And, it's good to skim through it. You want to be familiar with your teacher's rules and regulations. Do you need to memorize it all? No, it's a reference. When you're like, oh, wait, what did she say about late work? Don't come ask me. These quiz questions are the questions I'm tired of everybody asking me. And I do roll my eyes in my head, okay? Because I gave you the syllabus and you took the syllabus quiz. And I'm like, oh, really? You asking me this? Go look it up. Okay. So you click on over here, it says start attempt. Okay. This assessment is due by, like the 4th September 4th, which is the day everybody will get dropped for non-payment if you haven't paid. So make sure if you're not going to be able to pay by then, you go in and talk to them before then. Getting dropped then causes problems. You can get back in, but anyway. Okay, start attempt. It tells us you can do this unlimited amounts of time. You can save this, all of this. So read the instructor policies and take this quiz. Your attendance is expected and essential in any learning environment. You need to be mentally present and actively engaged when you are studying and learning. What do you think the answer to that one is? True, right? Some of these should be pretty much gimmies, but you hey, I got time, I can go look it up, but you already know the answer. So that one, just remember, true, you got it. Okay, if you don't attend class or submit work, what's going to happen? Oh, got to answer that one. Okay, so you go look that up. You're like, oh, everybody changes, right? So down here you have 2 options. If you click save and close, that just saves your work for you to finish later. It does not send it to me. So if you're doing this and you get interrupted or you got to go to math class or whatever, you save it and then you're like, oh, I got to come back, right? It's not sent to me until you click submit, okay? So if you do the save and close, don't forget to submit because after next Friday, this closes and I'm going to be like, dude, no, you had 2 weeks. Nah. Really? And you can take it and then go back and look at your first attempt. You just go back to the same place and it'll say, see first attempt. There'll be a link there. Or you can go to the grade book and find that. And you can see that. And then once you do that, it'll show you which ones you got right. And then it'll show you which ones you got wrong. And so then you can just write down the ones you got right because then you don't even have to go through and reread the question unless you really want it to be in your head, which I really do. But look, okay. But definitely if you got things wrong, then you go look it up in the syllabus, right? And you can just screenshot it if you don't even want to write it down and flip through as you're taking it. Go find it in the syllabus, read it. See, that's the point, is I'm using a quiz to make sure I want you to skim, go through this syllabus, be familiar with it. So that when you're like, oh, wait, that's in Kelly's policies, let me go look that up, right? You don't have to ask the questions that it's like, yeah, right? But the other stuff, always ask me. And even if you have to ask one of those questions, I'll be like, I'm rolling my eyes at you. And then I'll answer your question, okay? But I will tell you I'm rolling my eyes at you. Sarcasm. Okay. So, moral of the story is click submit. And sometimes it will tell you, oh, there are 15 unanswered questions. So there's 16 questions total, right? And I had somebody once say, yeah, I always relied on that because I would just go through and answer the ones that I got. And then I would go, that I knew. And then the ones that I had to look up, then I would go back and do those others. And she said, it didn't tell me. So don't rely on that for certain. I would, if I was being really paranoid, like not with this class, but with another one or something, I would totally save and close, and then I'd open it back up and then double check and submit. Depends on how I'm feeling about technology for the day. Some days I'm like, it works fine. And some days I'm like, I don't trust it. So, okay. That's really all you need to know. There is, what we'll do is, it's 10:10. Okay, you know what? Just remind me next time. We already did this. We're going to watch this video. At the end of it is a survey. There's also a QR code. So if you want to do the survey on your computer later, you can do that. If you want to do the QR code and we have time or whatever, or you want to just kind of save that, leave the page open and do it later, you can. But you can come back here and click and go to the end of the video and it will take you, once you're logged in, it will take you to that survey, okay? So we're going to watch it because it's about those general outcomes. I said like math even has critical thinking on theirs, right? Like all of that. So this is about the general outcomes in English. And let's see. Okay, let me make it bigger. Let's watch the whole thing. Oh, and if you do this video and do this survey, I'll also throw you some of that extra credit of just like, oh, actually, there's instructions for getting the extra credit below this. So, and yes, I did develop this, and yes, I did use Notebook. I did use an AI, but these
Hey
are.
everyone, welcome.
This is my hard work.
1301, and you are in exactly the right place.
Another thing
We're
I
gonna
do for
break
the
down
whole
the core skills you'll be
English
building this
degree.
semester. Think of them as the foundation for, well, pretty much all your success in college and even your career. All right, let's jump right in. So, let's start with a big question, one that I bet is on a lot of your minds. What does it actually mean to be successful in a college writing class? I mean, does that word make you a little nervous? Does it bring up this idea that you have to be this perfect, flawless writer right from the get-go? Well, let me just put that worry to rest right now. The good news is this course has absolutely nothing to do with being perfect. The single most important goal here is growth. It's all about the progress you make, where you end up compared to where you started. It's a journey, not some scary final test. And to help guide you on that journey, we focus on something called GEOs, stands for General Education Outcomes. Now, don't let the fancy name fool you. These are basically the 4 essential skills that I promise you every single one of your college classes and future bosses will be looking for. We're talking about written communication, critical thinking, personal responsibility, and teamwork. So what's the goal for this class then? It's actually really straightforward and totally achievable. We want you to reach performance level 2. Think of that as building a really solid foundation. Hitting level 2 means you've got the skills you need to move on, and that right there is what we call success in ENGL 1301. Okay, so let's dig into that first skill, written communication. The best way to really get what we mean by growth is to see it happen. So we're going to follow the journey of a student, we'll call him Alex, and watch how he develops his personal essay over time. Okay, check this out. This is a perfect example of that growth we're talking about. On the left, you've got his early level 1 attempt. I moved away. It was hard. It's fine. It gets the point across. But now, look at the right. Wow. Instead of just a plain statement, he uses this amazing metaphor about redrawing the map of who he was. See the difference? It's so much more creative, and it just pulls you right in. That's the kind of evolution we're looking for. So what actually changed here? It's way more than just fixing a few commas, right? He completely rethought his whole approach. He found the central idea, the map, and that one creative choice unlocked everything else. It gave him a framework to build on, which led to better content, more sophisticated storytelling, and way more interesting language. That's what we mean by growth. All right, let's move on to skill number 2, critical thinking. And you'll see how these skills really build on each other. Critical thinking isn't just for analyzing, a Shakespeare play or something. It's about turning that lens on yourself and really digging into the meaning of your own experiences. And here we go again. The difference is just night and day. His first thought is, I learned to be independent. Okay, that's a good starting point. But look at where he ends up. He's not just saying what he learned. He's analyzing the how and the why. He's breaking down the very idea of support and figuring out what helps versus what pulls you back. That's a huge leap in thinking. You see, he went from just stating an outcome to analyzing a really complex process. He stopped treating his experience like just a story to tell and started using it as data to analyze. That switch from just reporting what happened to actively questioning it, that is the heart and soul of critical thinking. Okay, skill number 3, personal responsibility. And look, this isn't just about, not plagiarizing. That's a given. It's also about something deeper. It's about being able to look at your own journey honestly and really take ownership of your learning process. So in his first draft, Alex has a pretty common takeaway. You have to be uncomfortable to grow. True, but a little generic, right? But then look at his final thought. He realizes independence isn't just about going it alone. It's about consciously choosing your connections. That's a massive shift in understanding. It's so much more nuanced. And that right there is the key. Personal responsibility in an academic setting is shown through that kind of deep, honest reflection. Alex is showing us that he's thought about his choices, he gets how they led to certain outcomes, and he is fully owning that entire process of growth. That's what it looks like. All right, last but not least, skill number 4, Teamwork. I know. Writing can feel like such a lonely activity sometimes. But in college, and honestly in most jobs, being able to collaborate is absolutely crucial. A huge part of this class is learning how to give and get good feedback from your peers. So let's look at what good and not so good feedback looks like. Here's your classic level 1 comment. Good job, I liked your essay. Okay, it's nice, but is it actually helpful? Nope, it gives the writer absolutely nothing to work with. Now, contrast that with this. This is what we're aiming for. It starts by pointing out something specific that works well. Your story is powerful. That's great, but then it follows up with a smart, open-ended question that actually helps the writer improve their thinking. It's constructive. See the difference? It's all about the details. Weak feedback is vague. Strong feedback is specific and gives the writer something they can actually do. It's about asking questions, not just giving orders. When you give feedback like that, you're not just editing a paper. You're being a real partner in their success. You're helping them think. Okay, so we've seen what this growth looks like in action. Now for the really important part. How can you make it happen? Let's switch gears and talk about some practical, hands-on strategies you can start using like today to build up these 4 skills. First step for your writing, the most important thing, really read the prompt. Ask questions if you're not sure. Then try to organize your thoughts before you even start writing a draft. And as you're writing, always be thinking, can I add a specific example here? A concrete detail? Oh, and here's my favorite trick. Read your work out loud. I swear you'll hear all the clumsy sentences that your eyes just skim over. And for sharpening your thinking, you have to get curious. Constantly be asking yourself why and how. Don't just say what happened. Ask yourself, so what? Why does this matter? Look for patterns. And always try to back up what you're saying with some kind of evidence. And probably the hardest part, be willing to question your own first ideas. That's where the real thinking happens. And please remember this. All the things that make you, your background, your experiences, any other languages you speak, those are not things you need to hide. They are your superpowers. Seriously, they are your greatest assets in this class. Bring all of that to your writing. It's what will make your work unique and powerful. So we're ending right back where we started with Alex, with that map. He learned that he had to redraw his. And now the question really is for you. As you go through the semester, how are you going to use these 4 skills, communication, thinking, responsibility, and teamwork, to draw your very own map to success?
Hey.
There we go. That flashed up there. It's time to go. It's on Blackboard. Just go to the end of the video unless you're like, oh, I want to watch this again. And it'll either pull up or it'll give you the QR code. So if you want some extra points, it's just questions about what do you think about. Much better. It's right there. Cool. Excellent. And you know what? I'll bring up that QR code so we can do, actually, I'll do it. Let me get plugged in. And that way while I'm setting up, y'all can do that and you can get a nice free 100. Cool? And that way you'll be like, people like, how's your English class? You're like, I got 100 in it. Yeah. And you have 100 in this class too, because that counts for this too. Yeah, you don't have to do it twice. Okay. All right. How far are we going? And do I need extensions? Of course I need extensions. I got all the technology gadgets here. Oh, look at that. Lovely. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to plug in this. And then we're going to plug in this one. Where's that other one? That's this one. That's this one. And all right. Cool. Wait, something's not plugged in. Oh, that won't reach. That's the wrong one. There we go. I remember how to do this. Yeah. I've done this before. Cool. Oh, wait.
Yay.
I know. Like,
I'm forgetting something.
okay, hold on. Let me open this and put that up there. Let me go back to the video. Ooh, Go back to the video. And do y'all want to watch the whole video again?
No.
I didn't think so.
Hey everyone, welcome. If you're taking English. And now the question really is for you. As you go through the semester, how are you going to use these 4 skills, communication, thinking, responsibility, and teamwork, to draw your very own map to success?
Oh, okay. I don't know if that's too blurry. Let's see. Let's try it. Do you need these? Can you?
Yeah.
See that? Did it work? All right. Cool. And there's no right or wrong. I mean, because that's just an opinion survey, is all it is. And so, yeah. So you're good. It's a 100. Oh, you know what? Well, I can look and see all there. Technically, at the end, have you already done it? Are you waiting for it?
The survey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to do it.
Oh, you're about to do it. Okay. So take a screenshot at the end, and then I'm having people put it on the my little form, and that way it's all in one place. But if you anybody already done it? Okay, cool. All right. So, and again, you can also do it on your computer, that kind of thing. So, I think if you go back after you've done it, because it's only one response per person, it'll tell you you've already done that. You could screenshot that later too. So. I'm so pumped about my little speaker. But I did drop it a number of times last semester, and I think I remember sometime this summer I dropped it. And it went like it. Oh. Yeah. I have a webcam that has a good speaker on it, and it closes, so. No camera. Oh. So I'm going to close this now. Leave it open there. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit. Let's see. We'd have some quiet jazz. Non-AI lo-fi. Oh, Goatchella, goats and donkeys dance to funky house music.
Ladies and gentlemen, pimps, players, and hustlers, please welcome
The dopest, flyest, OG pimp, hustler, gangster, player, hardcore motherfucker living today. To be honest, I am totally and completely on his tip.
Oh, you know I'm going to be listening to Goatchella when I go back and do work in my office. My mom loved goats. I love goats. Yeah. My parents were farmers, and Mom was always coming home with a goat. And we'd be like, we don't need more goats. They eat everything.
To be honest, I am totally on his tip.
That's stuff I can get work done too. Yeah. My goat was named Sugar Plum. My sisters and brothers' goats, one was named Rocket. This was when I was little. And Sugar Plum was sweet. But Ruby and Lotto, my sisters and brothers trained me, and they would chase me, butt me, and I was like 5. But my Sugar Plum.
I was having to go and
You what? Well, I have a goat. My son got me a goat. I told him I want a goat, but do not buy me a goat. So there are a number of charities where they'll like buy a goat and then or chickens or whatever, right? And they give them to people who are, and make sure they're not. And the deal is when your cow, your whatever, you've raised it has babies, you give one along, right? So the idea is, helping people be more sustainable and all of that. So I actually believe I probably have great grandparents. It's probably Actually, I might also have a grand kitty because 1 year for Christmas, I was like, my son's girlfriend, we're like, what do we get you? And I'm like, give me a cat, but don't give me a cat. I said, or you could, no, what I told him was you could get me another goat, but don't give me a goat. But they got me a cat. She's a vet tech, and she works in a cat clinic. And so they did everything that, help, support cats and, save cats and get cats, what they do, right? So yeah, so I have grand cats. Sure, I have grand cats and grand goats and all of that. My mom had a burro. She named Horatio. Isn't that a great burro name? Yeah, Horatio. I'm like, that's cool, man. Have you ever seen the videos of baby goats in pajamas?
Oh my god. No.
You shall not miss out on this. I mean the ones the baby goats playing and everything. The baby goats are really cute. Okay, no, we're not just gonna go to like
The shorts.
yeah, the shorts. No, you need. It's got little zebra. Babies in general are cute. Even like human babies, I like them. I had my one, and yeah. So
You have one son?
I have one. I have a friend who has 6 kids,
Oh, yeah.
and I tell her, I'm like, no, I got it right.
have
I tell her I got it right the first time.
I have a 10-year-old.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And so you got it right the first time too.
Yes. But sometimes, she asks, and sometimes she's like, I'm okay with it just being me and you.
Yeah. So Christopher never really. Yeah. I mean, I was kind of worried about that, but no, he's 33 now.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, exactly. He's fine. He's a year older than this book. That's why I knew I could say it's over 30 years old, because not that I'm good at math. I just know my son's around 33. Sometimes, some years I forget. Aren't they just darling? Oh my God. And look at the way they like jump and everything. And they are cute. I mean, get these ears off of me. I'm not a bunny. But they do. They climb on everything. They eat everything. I mean, dude, they are into they're like little toddlers their whole life, except for they get bigger and heavier and everything. So, but man, goats. So distracted by cows and goats. Yeah. Here, let's see. Okay, here we go.
What I could say about goats is they're the smartest, fearless, cutest, relational animal.
Okay. See? Except for a picture of my butt, meeting bigger goat horns. Okay. Hey, you, get out of the way there. I'm the toughest. I'm the biggest one. Yes, see? This is the one I like. I like this one that has, it's got a little music and they're just jumping around all over in the barn. And I have no idea why people put baby goats in pajamas, but.
Because it's adorable.
Because it's adorable. Yeah, right. So, that's it. All right. Have we done enough distractions to get you through answering the survey? You just have to look it up yourself. Now I have told you. I have shown you some of the finest stuff on the internet. Baby goats in pajamas. There we go. Was that a hard 100? No, that's the kind of 100s we like. So now you have a 100 in 2 of your classes. So when people say, how are you doing in college? You're like, man, I am rocking it. It's amazing. You can give them the 3 snaps and say that's it. So, I will do a little bit of record so we can also, stop.